Okay, this is going to be really exciting for me because there's a lot of controversy when a deer drops. Do they drop more if their head is up or if their head is down? And then how low do you aim to compensate for that drop? Do you aim low to compensate for the drop? Do all deer drop that are shot at? This is a world of controversy. And as the anatomy hunter, I have great needs of this subject, but guess what? I don't know anything about that. I shoot at 20 yards. I shoot a deer when it's walking, so I've never seen an animal drop. Nobody shoots just 20 yards anymore, and nobody shoots an animal drop that's walking. They stop them. So what we've got here is a video which Brian Tanner, the whitetail professor, has not seen. This is totally organic, and it's of two deer standing together. And Gavin De La Garza, my editor from Texas, he made this shot on this. And you're going to see one with the head up and one with the head down. And I'm going to be asking questions of Brian because I haven't seen this for over a year. And we're going to try to see what we can learn from this, from what Brian can teach us. So here we go.
Okay, so this took place in South Texas, I'm
Yep.
assuming.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
In Mission, Texas.
Mission, Texas. Okay.
And
Okay.
anytime you want to stop it, Brian, you stop it. You got your pointer
Yeah,
there?
so we are, it looks like we're in some sort of ground blind setup.
Yep. There's the camera.
And there's the
Yep.
camera, and at a distance of roughly, I'm going to say 20 yards, I'm assuming.
You know, I don't know.
Roughly.
I saw this a year
Yeah.
ago and I can't
Okay.
quite remember. We've actually never done the video on this,
Okay.
I guess. So
All right.
that's okay. Stop it whenever you want.
Okay. And so let me here's an observation here real quick. So do you notice how these deer, look at their legs and see how she's crossed over?
Okay.
She's very relaxed. These deer are right here, right now, are not on edge at all.
Okay.
So she's not flexed. They're not in a springy type position. Their legs are together. They're not apart as if they would go. So those deer are actually right there at this moment. They're actually relaxed.
You know, it's interesting when we both look at this. Your first comment is you're taking a look at where he's going. As me being into anatomy and sculpture, the first thing I look at is look how bony they are. That they got to feed them here in Texas down there. That's what I see.
These
So
ladies a sandwich here. So can we go ahead and go forward?
my friend,
All right.
you're the boss.
So again, very relaxed. Uh-oh. There we go. Heads up. Oh,
Man, so quick. He's going to redo it again in slow motion too. So
okay.
he wanted us to have our first reaction, though. See, my eyes are so bad, I can't even tell which one he hit,
Okay.
except I see the arrow coming out of that
So
one.
let me go back here,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. Let me go back here. Let's watch this again.
Okay. Must have heard him draw the bow, maybe. Something alerted her.
I think, right. Okay. Okay. So, initial thought without
Yeah.
watching slow mo.
And he does not know whether Gavin got this deer or he didn't get the deer.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, my initial thought, my knee jerk reaction is this is a high lung shot. I think he did get the deer. But Gavin, the angle does not look good from where I sit. Now, having said all of that, I have been around the game long enough to know that sometimes the camera can fool you, so.
Fools you almost every time, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it can. So that doesn't mean that he necessarily I'm not saying he took an ethical shot.
I've already told him he did.
Okay. I'm trying to be nice, Gavin.
See,
So-
Gavin, you got to learn the differences. It's me you're working with, not him.
So
He knows he shouldn't have done it.
So those deer, yeah, he's killed. I've talked to him enough to know that he's sharp. So those deer were relaxed. They weren't going anywhere. I don't believe there was any need to take that shot right there. They weren't anywhere near leaving at all. So we should have just waited, allowed that deer to turn, and maybe it takes 30 seconds, maybe it takes another 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. But the angle doesn't look good. But I will say, I think knee jerk without seeing the slow-mo, I think this is a high lung shot. And I think that probably, I think he probably actually got both lungs because it looked like he tucked it pretty tight behind that shoulder, and I can see the 10th rib on the other side. So,
Which we'll go into that in detail as we go into.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what? What's amazing to me is I always had, when I had glasses, 20/10
Mm-hmm,
eyesight. So I think I'm above 20/20 average.
mm-hmm,
You saw what you think he hit.
mm-hmm.
This is embarrassing. I couldn't even tell which deer he hit. So,
Okay,
so
okay.
that's just a little human observation of different people looking at the same things. That's how come I
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
my kids played
yeah.
soccer. I can never be a line judge.
And let me reserve the right to change this after I see it through my eyes.
Well,
I'm not
no,
saying
no.
my eyes are the
But
best.
this is what is so good, Brian,
Mhm.
is we need to react to it the way the hunter reacts when he makes a shot and runs away. If we go in slow motion, now we're getting to cheat a little bit, which
Yeah,
we
yeah,
want to.
right.
But the hunter, he shoots and it runs away. Did I hit him? Where did I hit him? I have almost always 3 inches off when I get a perfect. I saw exactly where I hit it, and I find him, and I'm 3 inches off. So there's,
Yeah.
uh,
If this is 20 yards, which I again, without knowing the exact distance he shot this, I'm kind of guessing here a little bit. That's necessary information. I need to know if he shot it with a crossbow. I need to know.
he shot it with a bow. I think 70 pounds. I think he's a 27-inch draw length.
Yeah. And so 27-inch draw, if it's at 20 yards, she's quick. Now she is in the open and she is exposed, and they're going to move. They're going to drop quite a bit here. Let me reserve the right to change my mind once I see it. Initially, my knee-jerk reaction is very risky angle.
Right.
The fletchings, from what I could see, bare eye. Actually, I think he might have made a pretty good shot here, though.
Well, here's the deal, though. When it ran away, even though I couldn't see it,
Mhm.
when we stopped the frame, I saw the arrow out. So
Yeah.
his bow at 70 pounds, if he would have just simply double lunged it, not hit any bones, would have zipped right on through like nothing.
Yeah.
So he had to hit some bones to slow that arrow down,
Okay.
is what I would guess.
Fair enough.
So if it's a frontal shot, what do you think that he probably would have hit there? What bones would have been slowed down?
So if you center punch a rib going in and a rib going out, I've seen that do some crazy things to animals
On,
before.
on a non-mechanical, a solid broadhead, you see that
Yeah,
affect
yeah,
the rib?
absolutely, yeah, because that absorbs energy when you center. I'm talking about center punching a rib. If you center punch a rib, even in a doe, you're absorbing energy.
As opposed to having just one blade on the edge, cutting
Yeah.
it cleanly.
Right, correct. Or even
Okay.
maybe even
Okay.
sliding in between. So he could have
Interesting
just
point.
broke some ribs there. Now, and here's the next thing. The closer you get to the spinal column, the stronger that rib is too.
Okay.
So, and we just said it looked like he maybe hit it a little bit high in the column, which back there may not be a bad thing for him. So we'll get into that later. But,
All right.
but
Should we move along?
yeah, move along.
Slow mo, and stop it wherever you want.
Okay.
She lifted her up, totally
Yep.
relaxed. See, to me, she's alerted and she's alert. Okay, now, here's what we're doing. The start of this video was based upon, because there's many ways that we can deal with this,
Right.
but I guess we're going to deal with them all, is does a deer drop more if the head is up or down? In other words, from the hunter standpoint, should you wait till the head is up to shoot them or wait till the head is down? That's kind of a controversial deal. So he's got some of these lines on here starting to show
Yeah.
some things.
So in this case, again, these deer are simply out in the open, and again, they're always going to be at least have that dial turned up some because they're out in the open. So let's just go ahead and play here. Stop. Okay. So that is the impact. And that impact, boy, he is flirting with danger. That hit just behind. Let me see. That's the 10th. Whew. Let me follow this on through.
Now he's going to start seeing the angles.
Yeah.
He's going to take that back up. So, and the beauty of this is this one's heads up, this one's head down.
Yeah.
This is one instance. You
Yeah,
can't
this
make
is
the
yeah,
rule
this
by
is
law.
very anecdotal. And, oh,
Higher than you thought.
yeah. A little higher than I thought. Yeah, just a touch higher than I thought. But I did see. It does look like the arrow came out a little lower for whatever reason, and I still think that it was below the spinal column. I don't think he hit. Let's just see. Yeah, I still would say after seeing the arrow exit, the angle of her, I still say he killed the deer.
Okay, now, how about this?
Yeah.
Technical point on this. Here you have a deer, you shoot him in any given spot, but as the arrow is moving, coming
Yeah.
in, and the deer is dropping together at
Right.
the same time. So now we have the movement of the deer dropping. In other words, instead of hitting the deer like here,
Right.
you make the same spot on the deer here, but that deer is in motion when you hit it.
Right.
So now that is a kind of that adds to the equation more questions.
It does, and one of the questions is first off, how heavy is that arrow? What type of arrow is it? Is that
Good
a
question.
small diameter? Is that a .166? Is it a, is it a 204? What is that arrow?
Okay.
Controlling the oscillation inside the cavity is
And I've
huge.
heard you use that term,
Uh-huh.
controlling the oscillation inside the cavity.
Mhm.
Why don't we, since we have some time, let's
Yeah.
go into what that means.
So I am an advocate for shooting proper arrow weight, and sometimes guys like to shoot arrows that are a little too light. And anytime you shoot something that is too light, it has the ability to be affected easier. So let's say you go in and you hit the rib, and that arrow is super light. It may deflect. I've seen arrows do some crazy things and come out in some crazy places once that blade hits a rib bone, or the animal's moving, as you said earlier. There's so many factors that you could point to. So the heavier that arrow is, now there's a tipping point out here too. So the heavier that arrow is, the more control you have of that arrow. Imagine I can take a straw and I can get it to fly pretty straight just with my fingers over through there, but I can't get it to fly very far over through there straight. But I could take a broom handle that's very heavy, the same size, and boy, I can really get it to go straight over through there. So that's maybe a poor analogy, but if this is a 390 grain arrow, it's hard to tell where that arrow comes out at with that deer doing what it was doing. If this is a reasonable, respectable 475 grain arrow, another story. Is it a mechanical broadhead? Is it a fixed blade? How much energy did it absorb as that one blade hit the rib? I mean, there's just so many unknowns here. But to me, looking at the shot, I still say I think he killed the deer, and I think it's a high lung hit. But he was close. He was close to. That's danger up there. So now, hopefully, I'm not getting fooled by the camera angle here too. So
find out.
But at least you've got the arrow to be able to show, to be able to see.
Yep, absolutely.
This
And
is
you
him
looked at your
calling me
kill
right
shot, so you
afterwards.
got
Okay.
to see where you went in, and it all makes sense to you.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
What's that blanket got on? Picture
Yeah.
game? You really don't want to be out here to shoot if you could have little scorpions walking around this motherfucker?
That's 13.
Makes total sense.
12 is touched, and then 11. 11, 10. That's 9 right there. And then 8. And I'll take a picture of that.
Yeah, and that's kind of about what I suspected it to be. The way she was turned into him, that again shows just how steep and severe that frontal shot was. But if you remember earlier in our conversation, I said I can still see the 10th rib. But the problem with that shot is you got to make a perfect shot to do that. And
You're flirting with danger.
you're flirting with danger to two deer that is eating. They are relaxed and they're clearly not going anywhere. So I would not have taken the shot. I will say he executed probably about the only shot, even though it was a little high. He executed probably the only shot he could have made to kill the deer.
Well, we got to go
So-
back. I don't know if he's got it on this video, but if we don't, Gavin, what we need to do is go back and see if the deer would have, where you hit, and then put the deer back in the upright position to see where he would have hit had it not dropped.
So even if at the place where he hit the deer, he could still see the 10th rib. Not to get too deep into the weeds there, but even if she hadn't dropped, he would have killed the deer. So because he would have hit that 10th rib on the backside. I know there's an angle there with the diaphragm, but he would have still. Now the difference would have been had he hit that deer lower, he would have probably flirted. Yeah, he would have exited the diaphragm and came out 11th or 12th rib on the backside. And actually, he hit it where he needed to probably hit it, if I was being honest with you, to get it to go
But
down.
let's be honest, he is lucky.
It was lucky. I'll be honest, Gavin, I love you. But, brother, that was a lucky shot, and a shot you probably wouldn't take again. And I'll bet you that if you ask him that, I'll bet you he would say the same thing.
Now, let's take a look at a little bit of anatomy on this photo
Sure.
right here.
Yeah.
Two real important things to see there. Number one, this here, that membrane, that's the mediastinum.
Right.
This is the super, super important thing that people do not know about. And you see where his arrow went through there, and you see all the blood clot there and there.
I do.
That tells me that he came in, and when he went into the one lung through the shoulder blade, he got underneath it, which I don't understand with her dropping, him hitting the shoulder blade that high, how that could get underneath the backbone, but it did. So I don't know if it hit it deflected, but he cut the aorta coming back right there.
Mm.
So he not only hit both lungs, he also ended up hitting the aorta
Okay.
there as well. That because that's the aorta there. This is and what the mediastinum does for the people that are watching, that separates the right lung cavity from the left lung cavity, and it separates. And that's why a single lung deer can live, because if you shoot this lung and it collapses, this lung can still allow it to function. Now, if you get a mechanical broadhead, the big ones, and let's just use the Rage because they're the ones that
Right, right.
so you don't get much penetration, but all you do is cut this membrane. And this membrane is basically like the diaphragm. It's a vertical diaphragm as opposed in the front that's separated by the heart. But if you do that, if the air enters into, say, this lung where he hit it,
Right.
it collapses. Now, when it collapses, that whole cavity then is filled with air instead of lung, right? That air then can escape through the hole of the mediastinum into the pleural cavity. That's the left lung there, and that pressure there can collapse that lung.
Okay.
So hitting that mediastinum is a huge deal, and that's how come I talked to a guy who was the equipment editor for I think it was Bowhunter magazine for 25 years. He was all big into Rage, and he says you don't need that much penetration, and he knew anatomy and physiology of death. He'd been around a long time, as long as you cut that mediastinum.
Okay.
That's again flirting with danger, but he's into having that big hole,
Right, right.
not as much penetration to hit that. So,
Sure.
but this is something for people watching that's very interesting. So,
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and see what else Gavin has.
About an inch and a quarter hole. See if we can see it there. There's
Look at that right there. There's the entrance.
He-
Beautiful,
he-
beautiful video.
He may have gotten some deflection downward here, some help.
Yeah, because
So,
how in the world did it came
Yeah.
down that much when he was on the
Yeah.
ground line?
That is cut all the way through right there.
So he cut through the liver.
Yeah.
You see the stomach contents on it as well.
Yeah.
Exit side lung. Exit side lung. Exit side lung.
So there it goes.
So entrance side lung right there.
Okay. So he hit both lungs,
Right.
hit the aorta through the mediastinum, the aorta, the liver, and the stomach. There it's coming out the back through there.
Yeah.
And that's right. Oh, he's got there the severe aorta. I
Yeah.
didn't know he had that in there. That's what he put in.
Yeah.
This is really good. And that's showing again at the angle of the coming. And that's right where the diaphragm would be. So right where that lung is there, that's the exact same spot. If he would show that, if what we're going to do on the deer that we skin,
Right.
we're going to hang them up like I want to an AJ's and take the stomach out
Right.
in the intestines, and then you'll be able to see the diaphragm. And then when you see the diaphragm, the lung is going to line up with the hole in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
So that'll
And
show you
as
what
she
to-
was bolting to take off too, her body was contorted. That helped that shot quite a bit too.
Okay,
by
tell
the
me
way.
about that. Her body being contorted.
So she had a deer right to her right, and her head was down as she was getting ready to go. So as she began to push off, her body turned into him slightly. You remember that?
I thought he hit the other deer.
Oh no!
That's bad. That's bad.
No.
I'm going to get fired from my own job. I don't get paid for it. I shouldn't get fired too.
Yeah, so
that is bad.
her body was contorted down anyway, and she had a slight twist in herself. You can see as she begins to push off. That actually helped Gavin in this case. There was no way for him to predict that.
Let's go back. Let's take a look at that because we can
Sure.
do that. We'll take that. How do I get this back here, Jay? Should
This
be
way,
there.
right here.
We
There you
back,
go,
there.
right on back.
I think we got to line that up there.
Yeah, on farther. There you go, right there. Now watch. See her head down. Okay. Watch her body contort.
Okay, there we go.
Now, right there. See her body contorting.
Yeah, see, because they'll drop and then they'll turn.
Correct.
And then when they turn, that makes the backside lower.
So
She doesn't look
so-
as much. Look at that front leg is for. So let's go through the details now of the drop. That's actually what Gavin wanted us to talk about. is the
Okay,
drop.
yeah. So let's hit play right there then.
You having fun doing this, Brian?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
We've got the whitetail professor here with us.
For sure. I've seen this shot take right there.
Man, that looks way high to me. I would not.
So
guess
so
I
it
would.
was. There is no doubt, and there is no doubt
He
that
deflected
he
off
got
the
some
back.
deflection off the backbone and helped it exit where it exited.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no question that happened. Looking at it again, and again, that is absolutely at face value, assuming camera angle isn't cheating me here. And let's watch this one more time. So here we go. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that comes out back there. I think he said, what did he say, the 11th, 12th or something? Yeah, so, but yeah, you know, he was fortunate there, and I think he knows that he's killed enough animals. He knows it. He was fortunate. But from a hunting perspective, what I would take away from this is there was no need to shoot right there. It was not necessary. The animals were absolutely.
Well, at least you've got the arrow to be able to show, to be able to see.
The animals were absolutely as relaxed as they could be, given the scenario. They were coming toward, at least at an angle, but they were coming toward the hunter. You know, it was only a matter of time before they eventually turned. And some patience there would have really went a long way, I think. And again, I'm not telling you anything that I guarantee you Gavin doesn't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to call it quits. I'm going to tell you one reason. We got to come back. We're supposed to deal with which one's dropped, head up, head down. We didn't touch
Yeah.
it. That'll be another time. Now, the reason another time is this. I want to get out hunting.
Let's go.
And so
Let's
that's
go
what we want
hunt.
to do. All right. Tell me, folks, what you think.
I smoke.